What is up, guys? My name is Logan Chamelin. I make vlogs and videos on Crohn's disease. In this video I want to explain some of my story and how I managed to avoid a major stomach surgery for Crohn's disease 2 times within the last 2 years. A little background about me. 2016 I had an ATV accident. It took the handlebar to the stomach. Punctured my intestine, went to the hospital. They found that I had Crohn's disease. I was in the hospital for a month and a half. I was in a coma for 9 days. They found 2 foot of dead intestine. They took it out. They found that I had Crohn's disease. I started doing a lot better, and for a year, 2 years, I was doing fantastic. 2017, I went to college. Freshman year in college, I realized that I just hated it. I dropped out after the first semester, and I was planning on staying in Florida, which I was from Pennsylvania, so I was 15 hours away from home. I was planning on staying there and just doing my own thing, like trying to learn life and find out how to pay for my own things and find out how to basically live without my parents and without family. And after a few weeks in, I got a stomach infection and I started getting super sick. I couldn't do anything besides lay in bed. It was bad. I would get up, run to the front door to pick up food because I didn't have enough energy to make food, and in that short 50-foot run, I would lose my vision, have to crouch down, get my vision, get the food, run back to my room, lay down in my bed until I could see again, and then I'd eat my food, and just nothing agreed with my stomach. It was just all just flushing me out. The stomach infection was just taking over my life. For 2 months straight, I was stuck in bed and I couldn't digest any foods, and I lost 40 pounds and I was just withering away, just dying alone in Florida. Eventually my dad and brother saw how bad I was. They brought me home, and then I was admitted into the hospital. If you have Crohn's disease, you understand that fistulas is not something you want to deal with. It's not something that you want to joke about. And I was basically told that my entire intestine and stomach and colon, whatever you want to call it, everything inside me had to be removed because this stomach infection caused inflammation, which caused a flare-up, and then that led to my entire insides being destroyed by fistula. There were fistulas all over the place, and there's absolutely no way of getting rid of them besides just taking my entire stomach out, putting an ostomy bag on me, and just hoping that my intestine would heal while it's not being used. I was freaked out that day. I just remember crying my eyes out with my family, and we were really freaking out because I thought my life was over. Like it wasn't like I can still live my life with an ostomy bag, which people can. Like there are many people out there who do it and surprise the crap out of me. But for me, everything that I like doing, like action sports and running and lifting weights, like I know it's all possible, but in my mind, life was over. I literally told myself, I was like, you just wasted your life because you were too optimistic and too positive and too stubborn to admit to yourself that you were dying in Florida. I was extremely against that opinion from that surgeon, and my parents were on my side and they were supporting me, and obviously they weren't for the opinion either. And I really didn't want to go all in on surgery right away. I wanted to try natural things and try medication and try all these other things besides just jumping into surgery. And my parents were for it. So we changed our surgeon. We wanted a second opinion, obviously. And then we talked to my gastroenterologist, and there was a 10% chance of my idea working. 90% chance I would still need surgery. But that's the odds. That was hope, and I was really, really willing to go all in, obviously, because like in my mind I was literally going to lose my life if I didn't. After I got out of the hospital for those 9 days, they sent me home with a bag. It was a bag of IV nutrition. There was a line in my arm. If you watch my first couple vlogs, I have that bag when I first started vlogging. And for the first 2-3 months, whatever, after I got out of the hospital, I started working a part-time job. I still had this bag, and I was just putting on weight. My stomach was just getting better and better, and I wasn't really eating healthy, but I was eating good food. I wasn't eating crappy food. And I got better faster than the doctors and my nurses ever saw before. Before they know it, they took my bag off me. They were making jokes about me getting too fat. And I started working out again. I started getting fit again. I started living a normal life again. Fast forward to my next stomach test. and it was a different type of test, so there could be some failure in the actual testing process. But I was doing a lot better. I was back to my normal weight. I actually think I was healthier and heavier than I ever was before. And I had a stomach test. It wasn't a colonoscopy, it was an enema. So basically they just fill your intestine up with enema and then do a CT scan, and they can see everything inside of you. And this is how they could tell to see if I still have fistula in there. And this test showed nothing. And then in the beginning of this year, I was going to Texas for one of the races that I was covering. I'm an action sports photographer. And I got sick because I had a bad meal. Popcorn specifically. It was like processed butter, double butter, triple buttered popcorn, and I ate a bag. And I ate that same type of popcorn like 2 weeks before and I was fine. And then this time it didn't make me feel good at all. And then my brother stopped to eat because it was just me and him. And he was gonna get Pizza Hut or Cinnabon, and I was like, I already don't feel good because of the popcorn. I'm just gonna skip this meal. And I don't think that was a good idea, because this led me into feeling absolutely terrible for 2-3 days. I literally just laid in bed. I had zero energy to do anything. And then I eventually went to the hospital once we got to Texas. I told them that I believed it was the same stomach infection I had a year ago, and I wanted to have them test for it. So they just assumed that's what it was because that's the only thing that made sense to them. They tested for it and it came back false. It came back negative. And after that, I just slowly started to get better. My stomach was still kind of weird for a month, but I slowly started seeing progress again. A few months after going into the hospital, and just a few months ago, I had another colonoscopy, just a yearly 6-month checkup, whatever it was. And they went in and they found another fistula. There's 2 things that happened. That enema wasn't accurate and it just didn't see this, which if that's the case, yes, there was still a fistula there, but I've had a tremendous amount of natural healing and improvement in the health of my gut and the overall quality of my gut from the first time I was in the hospital after that 2-month-long stomach infection until now. The second thing is that it could have closed up completely, and then when I got sick a few months ago in the beginning of this year, it could have reopened because I was sick for like a month straight, and then it's just back. Those are the 2 things, the only 2 possibilities, and either way I proved that natural healing and healing your gut naturally is possible. And I feel like this is something that I need to share because I never found anything online of it being possible, and according to my doctors, there's no way of healing it. So this last time, after my most recent colonoscopy, I was told again, like, you need surgery, Logan. Like, it's not a bad surgery. Like, you're in a way better position than you were a year ago when you were in the hospital. Like, you're gonna be fine. We don't need to remove anything that's supposed to be there, just that bad fistula that's not supposed to be there. And when they told me that, I was like, why? Like, you're just gonna do this again? And basically they were like trying to schedule the surgery without even like actually talking to me about it. They're like, yeah, we just need surgery, we'll just get it done tomorrow. And I was like, no. So everything I just told you of like how the only 2 possible things that happened all show that I had a tremendous amount of healing. I basically took evidence and took that pitch and took the diet I was on to my doctor and to the surgeon who was assigned to me, and I pitched it to my doctor. And to be honest, they were much more willing to go in on my idea than I was expecting. And I took my dad there, I took my mom there, just because they knew exactly what I wanted to do and they wanted to support me, and I knew that just having them there would help. And my doctor just was all in on it. He's like, yeah, you're doing great. Like, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So you've shown us that you can heal already, so let's just go with it. And basically they just gave me the okay, the official okay to just not get surgery and heal myself naturally. That's the second time within a year, 2 years that I avoided a major stomach surgery. I just knew that changing my diet and changing some of my life habits would help the quality of my health and my gut health a ton. And by doing so, I've managed to avoid these 2 major surgeries. So I'm going to be making a ton more videos on that, specifically of how I managed to avoid surgery, of what I do life habit wise, what I do diet habit wise. But if you have anything you want to know, any questions you have for Crohn's disease, for diet, for life habits, for avoiding surgery, for whatever, drop them down below. Because I'm more than happy to make a video on whatever you guys are interested in. Because this is something I really want to get into and start creating and start sharing. And I'm not quite 100% sure how I can bring the most value yet. That is it. That is my story of how I've avoided 2 major stomach surgeries within the last 2 years for Crohn's disease. Yeah. I hope you guys found some interesting parts of this video. I hope you like the story. I hope you like everything that's happened. I hope you're motivated by what I've managed to do. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and by the way, if you're still here and you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Thanks.